Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are going to just quickly do an archetype read because I'm going to the Red Wings game. Baby girl has a date, so I got to hurry this up. We're doing the Lovers for the archetype today. Now the Lovers is the heart, the beloved, the devoted. Pulsing through the heart of the lover is gratitude. The lover appreciates and experiences the world through the senses, reveling in beauty, song, art, music, and sensuality. This energy awakens at the tip of our tongue when we taste the sweetness of honey, kiss a lover, or speak gentle words to a child. The lover lingers in foreplay, aroused not by the getting there, but by the slow merging of the self and the other. This energy is usually experienced for short periods of time, as in order to feel it, we must be fully present and awake with no expectations or rules about what should be. Rather, the lover is in awe of what the world presents, reveling in the glorious details, grateful to savor every last drop of life's offerings. It states that the lover archetype is present everywhere, not just where conventional forms of pleasure and beauty are found. The lover's awe is unconditional. And it also states, when you hold someone's gaze for several moments, you'll feel the lover within you awaken. It is common to seek the lover in another. The true gift is finding the lover in yourself. Okay, all right, let's get this going. Okay, I'm super excited for this reading, but I'm also really excited for the game, so sorry if I'm a bit antsy. I'm really high energy today. Let's go ahead. Ooh. I don't want to start. Let's go with the Tracker Oracle deck. Why not? What's going on with my lovers? One more? No, is that it? Come on. I guess that's it. All right. On the back, we have mysticism. So I almost get the sense that your gut is trying to tell you something in regards to someone that you might be interested in. Oh, facade. We have facade at the back of the deck. Well, on the bottom, that's what fell out. Now, the facade card can highlight wearing a mask. So you might feel as if the person that you're seeing, maybe they're mirroring you, or they're not telling the whole truth, showing the whole truth of who they are. This kind of reminds me of this date that I went on. It wasn't really a date. I was just kind of hanging out with this person a year ago. And I remember them telling me, we were at a mall, and they were like, oh, I want you to think I'm the best ever. So I don't want to show you any the bad parts of me, but you're so easy to be around. You're so comfortable that I'm just kind of spilling, And I was like, that's okay. That's fine. But some of the things that they were saying to me were a little too much, and I had to tell them to tone it down a bit. But it's good that I had gotten them into a more authentic energy rather than this performative mood. So let's just look at the situation with the lovers. Oh, okay. Maybe one more. Verify that I'm thinking what I'm thinking. Thank you. Yeah. So we have pretending. That's the last one that just fell out. That's the verification that I asked for. So yes, there's absolutely someone here who is pretending. Now, you might have cut this person off, or you might be considering cutting them off because you're your gut intuition is there's something off here about the way that this person presents themselves to me, where I feel I'm not getting the full picture here. Now, we also have poison, toxic, unhealthy behaviors and people, as well as single. But I picked this card up and immediately I heard now I understand why you're single. Now I get why. Why you're not in a relationship, because this person might come off as too good to be true. In fact, I actually kind of get the sense that this is the type of person to be well, why did me and my ex break up? Oh, they were crazy. And in reality, it's no, this person drove them crazy. That's why they broke up, because this person drove them crazy and then used that against them. And this actually reminds me a lot of a recent study that was done a couple months ago. And it was this the guy who was leading the study, the leader, was trying to teach married men who were in a support group because they were abusers. They were domestic abusers. he was trying to teach them interpersonal skills to hopefully make them like better husbands and parents. And he was teaching them these interpersonal skills, but, you know, as the weeks passed, they continued to have the exact same issues. They had the same complaints, and all of them did. Like, none of them saw any real drastic change in their situations like he had hoped or expected. So instead, he kind of, you know, took a left turn, and he was like, all right, well, what are the benefits of abusing your partner or your children? What are the benefits here? And after listing out, like receiving and listing out the benefits that these men were receiving from abusing their partners, he realized, like, well, why would they stop abusing these people? Why would they stop abusing their wife if, you know, it allows them all these benefits? Why would they stop abusing their children if it allows them all these benefits? And I fully recommend you check out that study. It's eye-opening at a minimum. But like one of the like psychological aspects is like these men intentionally tried to get their partners to think that they were crazy because it gave them power over their partner that they could utilize against them so that they would be able to do less. Other portions included like, you know, if they have a job, get their money. And if you don't want them working, make them stay home and isolate them from their friends and from their family so they can't leave you. And the entire point of all of it was that so these men could put in the lowest amount of effort and reap the largest amount of benefits from the situation, where all of their effort was really, like, even with the interpersonal skills that they were provided and taught, those were just used to try to make their partner complacent or compliant. Compliant is the word there. Trying to make other people compliant. They were trying to use these appropriate interpersonal communication skills to make their partners do what they wanted them to do. And they could not see the benefit in not getting exactly what they wanted when they wanted it. So that might be the kind of energy that you're kind of picking up from this person where you're like, oh, there's some red flags here. But, you know, like the energy's good. It's like upbeat, you know, but I almost feel as if this person really mirrors you. And they're doing this in order to kind of get you into this position where they can, I don't want to be like cruel about it, but it really seems like abuse to me. Like it seems like their intention with any partner, not just you, not that you're, you know, like their special target. No, it's like their goal in any relationship is to get their partner to be compliant to their needs, wants, and desires. And I just don't think that's your job, if I can be honest with, like, not to be all like about it, but like, I don't think that's your job. And it might be important for you to remind this person that it's not your job, like to take care of them in these ways, and that you don't have to tolerate this type of behavior. So they might get upset if you tell them you won't tolerate that type of behavior. So with that in mind, I want to get a little bit more details using this deck, and then we'll jump into the tarot, and then I'll let you guys go. We'll grab some self-care before I let you go, but I'll let you go, don't worry. Oh! Okay, we have Abby. So I feel like this person is trying to, they see you as a door that they can walk into. Like, they do see that they have an opportunity with you. And you might have considered at first that, like, this person, because again, like, when someone mirrors you, especially if you enjoy yourself, even at, like, a minimum, when someone mirrors you, you feel liked, you feel loved, you feel appreciated. So I do feel like this person is trying, it's so funny. I'm kind of seeing like a doorknob and someone's like jiggling the handle, but it's a locked door. And I kind of get that that's your energy moving forward with this person, because you're like, you're starting to see through their mask. So they're trying to find ways that they can like slip in, but it's like you've locked the door. Yeah, look, we got support in reverse. Like, they know that their actions, their behaviors are not okay, but they're still trying that door anyways. Like, they know that it would be considered like breaking and entering, but they're still trying to get into your house at the end of the day. This person might be in ruins. We have ruins in the bottom of the deck there. Their situation might be real off. Yeah, they feel like something, like they're, because I have blessings in reverse, and weirdly enough, I'm kind of getting that this person is like experiencing a lot of karma, and they might be hoping that you're like their savior. That's weird. This person might have like a really bad rescuer, persecutor complex. How strange. Oh, the two that had fallen out, we have house, number 16, that boils to 7. We also have fame, number 43, that also boils to 7. I feel like this person is known for doing this. In fact, this reminds me of a time I went to a pool party with this like firefighter. And I remember meeting all of his friends at this pool party. And the first red flag that went up for me there was that the girls at the pool party were like, oh my God, you're so pretty and you're so nice and like you're so kind and funny and smart. Why are you with him? Are you sure he is the one you want to spend time? Him? You're so nice. Why are you with him? Because all of them were trying to like SOS me of like, hey, this guy's terrible. Please get out of here before he hurts you. So again, I'm getting the sense like he's kind of well known, or it could be a she, don't get me wrong. I mean, we do have feels here, so this could absolutely be a feminine abuser. This person, I'm like getting a sick energy now that I'm like aware of what they are. They could be well known for their bad behaviors, their abusive behaviors. Like I feel as if you were to reach out to like a crazy ex of theirs, or if a crazy ex were to reach out to you, they would brush it off. They'd be like, no, like she's just trying to make you jealous. He's just trying to make you jealous. Like they're jealous of our relationship. Like ignore them. Like they're just lying to you because they're crazy. But this person would absolutely be telling you the truth. Like this third party trying to warn you would absolutely be telling you the truth. And then we also have house. So I actually kind of get the sense where like this person might future fake with you. Oh, we'll have kids one day. Like, what do you want to name our kids? Like, oh, what kind of house do you want to buy with me? Oh, I love 2 doors. You know, like something like along those lines. Or if we're combining them, it might be that they abuse their current family. You know, if they have children, or if they have like an ex-partner, if they have like, you know, if they live at home, they could be like abusing resources, maybe finances, maybe parents. I lived with my brother for a while, and you know, I do love my brother deeply, but he has a lot of very abusive qualities where like if he doesn't get what he wants when he wants it, he just turns into like a nightmare to just be around. He does it intentionally. He knows that if he can be a nightmare, people are more likely to be worn down and just give in. And I think my last straw with it, because I dealt with it for years, but my very last straw with it was I had a friend stay over because her house was a bit chaotic, you know. So she came over to our house for like a safe haven for just a couple days. It was around Halloween, and her child, who's like under the age of 10, brought home a small bag of Halloween candy from going out for Halloween. And my brother asked him, like the child, if he could have some candy. And the kid was like, oh, I really don't have much, no. And my brother threw a massive fit that lasted hours, and then eventually kicked my friend out. And my dad was so worn down. My dad was like, please just make them leave. Like, I really don't have, you know, the capacity to deal with your brother acting like this tonight. So like, I just need your friend to leave so he can calm down. And after that, I lost it. I was like, okay, that's how we're going to play? That's the game we're going to play? We can play that game. I promise you we can play it. I'm not really a yeller. I'm not really the type of person to like throw a fit or a tantrum, you know? But for the next 3 days straight, I screamed, I slammed doors every time I saw him, I cussed him out. I acted exactly like he did. Probably 10 times worse. And this continued for about 2 months, and then he moved out because he like could not handle it anymore. And every single time I freaked out on him, I reminded him like, I am doing exactly what you do. Exactly what you do, so you can see how you treat other people. Because it's really not my type of vibe to act all tantrumy and crazy like that. But I desperately needed him to see, like, you treated a 7-year-old like this. You abused a 7-year-old, and I'm not gonna let that fly. I'm gonna make you feel every ounce of it. So again, this person might be going through like karma with it. And even with my brother, you know, he told half of our family that like, oh, she's crazy. She's acting crazy towards me, and I did nothing. And it's like, you made me crazy. I'm not a crazy person. I'm not likely to yell, to argue, to spit, to throw a tantrum, to cry, to scream, any of that. but you gave me a really good reason to do it, so I took it full on, and I would do it all over again, given the choice, because I guarantee he'll never try to treat me like that again. And he did eventually end up apologizing, and I ignored that apology, because, like, again, you're doing this to benefit yourself, and I have no intention of benefiting you in any way. For me personally, my deep line in the sand is, like, if you hurt children or animals, oh, I will, like, actively destroy you. Like, all bets are out of the window. I'm gonna be terrible. I'm gonna be an absolute menace to you, so you don't do it again. That's kind of the, so yeah, this person's family, I feel like this person is known for it. They're known for, like, being toxic, for being abusive, poisonous, for getting other people to act out of character after tolerating them for so long. So if you feel like, you know, you might want to get out of the situation, I would agree, because this is bringing up a lot of my own toxic memories of where I've been literally driven to the brink of crazy, where I stopped caring, you know, how I stopped caring at all how to treat other people, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be hell on earth for a while. So let's get into the tarot, because we had mirroring and we have poisonous. I do want to go ahead and get into, let's do my vampire deck, because this person seems draining. They do seem a bit like a vampire, an energy vampire. Okay, I'm not taking 40 cards. I'm just gonna retry that. Yeah, this also kind of gives a sense of, like, this person might come to you. My brother did this a lot. He would come to you with, like, a sob story. I remember he had, like, picked a fight with one of my uncles, and my uncle just, like, he, like, attacked my uncle. My uncle just, like, shoved him back, and he freaked out, called the cops for, like, assault. And then when I was just coming home at the time, and my brother had, like, come to me first with this, like, sob story of, like, oh, our uncle hit me. He's abusing me for no reason. He acted crazy for no reason. And I was just like, I don't believe you. You always antagonize others, so I doubt that our very calm and relaxed uncle would just outright assault you for no reason. And when I went and talked to my uncle and to my dad, I got, like, the full story of, like, my brother actively antagonized the situation and threatened and assaulted first, and my uncle was just defending himself against my brother's crazy. Not that my brother's crazy, by any means, like, he has his issues, and we aren't compatible, like, to live with each other, but he's not a bad person. He's just got a lot of trauma that he needs to work through. It's not an excuse for how he acts, and he definitely has been abusive, but I wouldn't say he's crazy in the head. I would say that his behavior is inappropriate, and his behavior can at points be crazy. And we have the Knight of Cups. So I do see that this person is trying to offer you this cup of love, and I feel like in the beginning you were actually quite interested, because it seemed as if this person was who they were saying that they were. But then we have the Lovers in reverse. That could be a karmic contract for them. Again, karma's coming up. This person might be dealing with a lot of karma. Or this might be a lesson for you. Not that you are receiving this person, or that abuse is ever, you know, acceptable or appropriate, but this might be like a lesson for you to learn on how to spot this type of behavior before it's able to reel you in. We have my Nine of Pentacles here. This person's not worth it, if you were wondering. Like, they're not worth the trouble that they're about to put you through. With my Nine of Pentacles, that's usually my, like, harmony, relaxation card. Seeing that in reverse, it's like this person will bring chaos to your life. They want to shove off responsibility, shove off their emotions. And this kind of gets me into something. I've talked about this recently. Man, this is going to run so long, isn't it? I talked about this recently in a different reading. I was deconstructing the patriarchy and the effects that puritanical culture has under the patriarchy. And obviously when it comes to women and females, the effect that puritanical culture has on us is that, you know, we're expected to be submissive and ever nurturing, ever giving, motherly, etc. But this is not a one-way road. So how does puritanical culture affect men? Well, if we're looking at women, right, and what's valued in women is the emotional labor that we are constantly giving, even though it's expected of us, it's valued, right? That's why it's expected, because it's valuable. So our emotional labor is expected from women, but physical labor from women is almost always devalued. So it's like, you know, women can't do this because, you know, men have to do it because they're big and strong, you know, like things like that. So how does it affect men? It's the opposite, right? Physical labor is expected and valued in men, whereas emotional labor is completely devalued within men. In fact, I think it's gone to such an extreme in this day and age that many men wish death upon me. Interesting. Many men in this day and age, they feel like their emotions don't belong to them, that they're not theirs. They actually feel that they have to be able, they're entitled to shove off their emotional needs and desires and issues onto women for women to process and deal with and take care of and cope with and tolerate. And I've used this example before. You know, I had this guy that I was seeing on and off, and he like fully expected me to take care of all of his needs for attention. So whether that was like, you know, physical intimacy or, you know, his loneliness, none of that was his to deal with. And none of that was something that he felt he had to make a plan to cope with and to tolerate and to deal with. He would always just ring me up and be like, well, I need this from you and you're not giving it to me, so I'm mad at you and you're terrible. And I'd be like, I don't care. That's not really my job, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm like, not gonna do that. And then he'd get really mad at me and like block me for a couple weeks and come back and apologize. And it was this awful vicious cycle where he would try to push off his emotional labor onto me, and I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then he'd get mad at me and he didn't know how to process any of it. So it just became a vicious cycle. But, you know, eventually that vicious cycle had to stop. I had to sit him down and be like, hey, when you do this to me, it feels like you're trying to wear me down. And I'm not comfortable with that. So if you're going to continue to do that, I'm going to not speak to you at all. That's going to have to be the conclusion here, because you aren't treating me right, and what you are doing is actively hurting me, and I'm not willing to tolerate it. And I was like, these are your needs, and you need to deal with them. When you're hungry, do you just lay on the floor and wait for someone to walk in and feed you, to start cooking? No. You cook for yourself, right? When you're tired, you put yourself to bed. When you're stinky, you put yourself in the shower. You can meet all of your physical labor needs. And so now I need you to use that big old muscle in your head up there to meet your emotional needs too, buddy. You got this. I promise you got this. I know I sound really sarcastic, but like sometimes you gotta gentle parent people. With this person, I don't think you should gentle parent them. I think you should dip. I'm going to be honest. I'm just a tarot reader, so you don't have to take my advice. You can see it through. You can see it through if you want to, my boy. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's not looking so hot from my perspective. Let me get just a couple more. But yeah, I very much feel as if this is the type of person where, like, their emotions, they don't feel like they own them. They feel like other people should have to deal with their emotions for them because they do not have control over them and they don't have proper coping skills to deal with them. And you know what? I have something for this. I talked about this in a recent reading, but I'll bring it up in this one too. We're just gonna jump over this one really quick. This is how you emotionally process. You pause, whether that's taking a breath or removing yourself or journaling, etc. Pause when you're emotionally overwhelmed. And then you identify what you're feeling. Then you build on the layers of it. You can use a feelings wheel for this. You can Google an emotion chart for this. But you need to identify what you're feeling, the layers of what you're feeling, and why you are feeling that thing. Then you can accept how you're feeling. That's step 3. You just accept it. You're like, man, this sucks. I'm lonely, but I can accept that. And then you let yourself experience that emotion that you've accepted. And when you're done with that, you can address what the next step is. And that next step is always going to be a resolve. So for example, you know, I I do this one a lot. I'm going to use anger because anger is a really common emotion for men and women to understand. But, you know, I wake up in the morning and it just seems like every little thing goes wrong. You know, I can't find my keys and I've stubbed my toe and my favorite shirt is in the wash because I forgot to put it in the dryer. So I'm just so aggravated and annoyed and mad. I'm just mad. So what happens when I'm this mad and, you know, someone comes in and they're just getting on my nerves? Is it appropriate to scream at them? No. So what do we do instead? I pause. I take a deep breath. I tell them, hey, I'm going to need a second. I'm a bit too irritated for this. So I go up to my room and then I go, okay, I'm really, really mad. Well, why am I mad? Okay, because all of these things went wrong. So how am I feeling because all these things went wrong? Well, I feel incredibly inconvenienced. I feel angry. I feel tired. I feel lethargic. Okay, lethargic. All right, I can kind of feel that in my body. I can accept that I'm lethargic. I can feel that in my body and I can feel that in my stomach. Okay, my stomach. Oh man, my stomach's kind of hurting. Oh, you know what? That's what my resolve is going to be. I need to eat something because my blood sugar is low. So I'm easily irritated because my blood sugar is low. And then I eat something and I'm fine. Right? That's a really easy one to work with, but you got to figure it out, you know? And if this is not you who needs to learn that, maybe that's how you explain it to them. Just by giving them like, hey, you know, I don't think we're compatible for each other, but I think you could use this. All right, let's just get a couple more and I'll wrap this up. We have the High Priestess. Yeah, I feel like you saw this coming. I feel like you saw some red flags when it came to this person. Maybe they were trying to move too quickly with you and they made comments that were just, they put you off. All right, let's take a look. Just one more. Oh, we have my Eight of Wands. I do feel like you'll be sending a message or receiving a message from this person. If you're the one sending this message, I do feel as if you'll be sending this to be like, hey, I'm not really feeling this, like, I'm gonna go. If you are receiving this message, because again, this is a collective reading, so it's gonna be different for everyone. I feel like if you're already thinking about leaving, you are gonna be the one to send this message. If you are not, if you are like kind of questioning and still in that doubt phase and still going forward with it, I feel like you'll be receiving a message. I was picking up on that, a warning from someone else, or this person might just kind of, that mask might drop. They might show you in an attempt to like get power over you. We have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles both in reverse here. This person's in a lot of trouble. I feel like this person's really alone because of their behaviors. I feel like their family has kind of cut them off. Maybe their friends have cut them off or they have issues with their friends. Like, I feel as if you were to ask this person how each of their relationships ended, each and every single one would be this weird, like, gaslighting sob story where, you know, they're always the victim or, you know, they're always like the person who was innocent in it all. We have the Emperor in reverse. This person does not have control over themselves. With the Eight of Pentacles, it would be a lot of hard work to make this relationship work because we have the Eight of Pentacles and the World. I know you can't really see it, but we have the Eight of Pentacles behind that and the World behind that. Like, it would be a really hard work to make this work. Like, this person does not really understand what healthy relationships look like. And then we have the Five of Wands. So yeah, again, there might be some internal conflict of like, you know, I don't want to, you know, jump to conclusions with this person, but I also don't want to give them the opportunity with that Ace of Pentacles that I don't want to give them a chance to like hurt me in this situation, which is respectable. I do see you kind of focusing on money or finances. Maybe this person's been asking you about money or finances. This could also be like for my masculines, like you go on a date and this girl is like expecting you to spend money, you know, or like she tries to bring a friend along and expects you to pay for both of their food, things like that, like that are just like red flags. Okay, all right. I'm really not liking this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up with some self-care and let you guys get on your way, and I'm going to hop out to my game. Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. I'm going to a game tonight, and this whole reading actually almost feels like this person thinks like love is a game that they have to win. That also might be a really bad thought process that they might have, is that like they might play a lot of games emotionally or mentally. especially if they're like future faking and things like that. So we have connect with the earth coming out. So I do see you maybe getting, I feel like if you get frustrated, you would kind of remove yourself, take a walk, take a deep breath. Maybe even just like, you know, going for a walk to kind of reset your mind, your equilibrium. Let's get 1 or 2 more. This could also be someone from your past, where like now you're looking back and you're like, wow, like they were really calculated in the way that they pretended, like they faked with me. We have meditate coming out. And we have make a meal coming out. Yeah, if you're the type of person who like gets really, really aggravated, and you're really not sure why, I would 100% suggest eating something. I have a good friend of mine, Chris, that I call usually like around dinner time. And I had to make a rule for myself where I have to eat food before I call Chris. Not because he does anything wrong, but because I love talking to Chris. But when I talk to Chris, I get really vulnerable and open. And if I have not eaten and my blood sugar has dropped, I get very emotional very quickly. And I kind of lose control over myself. And I love Chris enough to recognize, like as a friend, I recognize that like he does not deserve that. He doesn't deserve to have me call him up and just rant for 2 straight hours and, you know, be kind of all out of sorts with myself. Like he deserves to have a friendship where there's an equal back and forth and he's not managing my emotions or my thought process for me, you know? And now that I do, sometimes I call him and then I hang up before he picks up because I'm like, oh, I have to eat something because like I'm gonna rant for an hour if I don't. Like, I'm gonna get all loud. And he's tired. He works long hours. I can't do that to him. So yeah, maybe, yeah. And then we have sweet treats. Maybe I have some viewers here who are like, who have issues with like hypoglycemia or even diabetes. And then I have deep breathing as well. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna grab some charms and then I think I'm gonna leave it at that, babe. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know I got super hyped during this reading, but it's just I have a lot of experiences with people like this. And the one thing that I have learned is like usually I'm a very like nonchalant, calm, and grounded person. But when it comes to these behaviors, you cannot be calm and nonchalant at all. No, you have to fight back and get out as quickly as possible. Because if you give them an inch, they'll take you a mile. And if they take you a mile, they'll take you 10 miles. And by the end of it, they'll leave you stranded and alone. And they're done that a handful of times. Ooh, hoo. Okay, all right. Wow, we got a lot here. I'm sorry. You'll see it in a second. Spirit's dogging on this person now. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have a ton of charms. So I'm going to start with the fortunes, actually. We have, you will be released from the burden of your past. That's the first fortune that came out. So again, maybe like you've dealt with this kind of thing in the past. And so now you're like seeing the signs actively and you're like, oh, I need to go. Or you're looking back at your past and you're like, oh, like I should have noticed it at this point and I will next time. We have persevere. It's just a bump in the road. So yeah, maybe you're a bit saddened by the fact that this person isn't really what you expected or hoped of them. But I do see something better coming in the future. So, and then we have your hard work will soften the troubles of others. And I feel like that's kind of a warning where it's like, if you find yourself in a relationship or a dynamic or a friendship or even in a family situation where you are always the one putting in the hard work and you are always the one trying to tolerate and help and the other person is just constantly taking advantage of that or using it to benefit themselves only, it's time to recognize when it's time to go, you know? We have the judgment card here, so I do see you making a major judgment here in this situation regarding this person. We have mushrooms, so someone here, they might have like addiction issues or I'm really getting like psychedelics here, you know, they might do that. I have the elephant, which is all about auspicious wisdom. I have my bird in a cage. Oh, okay, no, it's fine, I'll drop it. I have my bird in a cage here. I do kind of get the sense that like this person wants to trap you. And I'm getting that again with birth certificate. because I have a little baby birth certificate here with a little cherub and an angel. So I feel like your guides are trying to protect you from that, from this person trying to trap you. I have a little, oh, that's so funny. This is even funnier. Oh my God, this just clicked. I have a little lock here. Remember how I mentioned earlier that it's like someone's jiggling the doorknob of like a locked door? Well, we've got the lock here. I know it's really hard to see with my nails, my bad. And then we have a key, and it says faith on it. So again, I feel like your angels are protecting you from this person being able to like really get in. I have a dog tag with a heart on it. So I feel like there is love coming in for you. It's just not with this mess of a person. I have my bumblebee here. My bumblebee is all about positivity, happiness, and good times coming. But it can also be about hard workers. I have my owl coming out. My owl is usually about a boon or a treasure coming in. I do have the zodiac sign Cancer on my descriptor card. We also have curly hair being highlighted. Someone here might have curly hair. I do feel like you'll be getting some news in regards to this person. It just fell. I'm not going to go get it. But no, news is coming out. Oh, maybe they were in the news because I just heard making headlines. So they could have been in the news. Maybe there's like a mug shot of them. I would like, maybe this is a sign to research your dates. And then the only initial that I have is a D. And when I pulled it out, I immediately thought dick bag. And I have no idea why, so take that as it resonates. But for the initials, or the names, we have Deborah, Dennis, Dolores, Danny, Danielle, Daniela, Dan, Dave, David, Darren, Destiny, Desiree. I also heard dynamic. Maybe you've like had this kind of dynamic before. Alrighty, well that's what I'm seeing for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will catch you guys in the next one.